It's the weekend! And not only is it the weekend, it's a release weekend. And we only had the last one, what, 3 weeks ago? So, they're coming thick and fast. Like something that would get me demonetized. Hello everyone, welcome to Lit Bashing. I've got the new releases today, and also because it's been my birthday since the last time I saw you, which is why I had a little bit of a break. I've also got two that missed me by the first time round. So I've also got the Malcador Infernus and Medusa Basilisk to unbox as well, just as a little bit of a bonus for anyone of you who missed it the first time around as well. So with these, I'm going to start from my kind of least anticipated through to most anticipated, and then I'll shove the extra two in at the end so that anyone who has already got those or doesn't really care much about old stuff can stop watching the video then and mess with the algorithm. So I'm going to save the termites till last because they're interesting and there's lots of things to say. I suppose the least interesting are the Leman Russ exterminators and annihilators. Now, a little while ago, I made a lit bash turning one of the vanilla Leman Russ into an annihilator, and it worked pretty well. And now we've got them actually. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be as solid as just the standard vanquishers. They're not bad by any means. The annihilators seem to be just a bit middle of the road. The exterminators seem like very solid anti-infantry tanks, so I'll probably be building most of these as exterminators. There we go. Wrap her off. Should I do anything ASMR with this? Like, and now I take off the wrapper and chuck it away and forget about it until next week. So we've still got the Boral Devils and the Chthonian Headhunters on the back as our nominated loyalist and not so loyalist Auxilia cohorts. And we expect we're still going to have that slightly disappointing Solar Auxilia transfer sheet on the inside. As always, instructions, little anemic transfer sheet, and two of the exact same sprue. It's a sprue we're kind of used to by now because it's very, very similar to the other two sprues. So let's focus on one of them as they're the same. Yeah, so very similar to the other two sprues we've had for Leman Russ. In many respects, I'm not upset that we've got so many different variants of Leman Russ spread across different boxes, because the impact of that means you get 8 per box, which is great. I imagine if they tried to squeeze in all the different weapons onto a single sprue, we'd have half as many tanks. So this is definitely the best way forward. It means if you want a whole bunch of a certain weapon, you can do it. The downside of it is they haven't utilized that effectively with the rules, as far as I'm concerned, because they're all the exact same price. They're the same base price, the same price to upgrade the unit. I don't see why. They could have really played with the price, and like, if you're going to have them as separate units, the only thing having them as separate units does is stops you mixing and matching them. So you wouldn't be able to have exterminators and annihilators in the same squad, but also you wouldn't want to. But you can have vanquishers and Leman Russ battle cannons in the same squad, which you also wouldn't want to. I don't know. I see no gaming reason why these are either all different units or all the same price. If they're all going to be the same price, make them all the same unit and let you mix and match if you want, but no one would want to. Cool. Just out of interest, I've brought along one of my gunless little extras I had from various starter kits. So yeah, it's the exact same connector, the exact same everything. So you can mix and match the weapons, mix and match the turrets as you see please. Which is nice. Like, they are nice kits, and it's an iconic tank. It's great we've got so many different options. We've got pretty much all of them now. It's just a shame that they haven't used that to reflect some difference in the rules, and particularly difference in the points cost. But still, it's a good kit, and I will enjoy building them because they're fun to build. They go together very, very easily. Instructions, as usual. I wonder if they just copy and paste the first however many steps, and at the end go, oh, and by the way, we've got different guns this time. I've got 2 of these spares, so what I'll probably do is find some of the autocannon sponsons that I've got spare from one of the tanks somewhere, and make 2 more exterminators, so I can have a full squad of 10 exterminators. That's probably what I'm going to do. I mean, the Annihilators are good, but they're anti-tank, and the Vanquishers are already better anti-tank, so yeah, I don't think I'll be using Annihilators much, but I will be using some anti-infantry, because there's not a lot of anti-infantry options in the way of Leman Russ, so that seems to be the way forward, at least for me, and filling in the gaps in my solar army. So, good kit, fairly standard by now, but hey, nothing wrong with standard. Now, a whole detachment type that we haven't got yet, light tanks, and these are our first light armour across either army, which is fun. So, the Sabre Strike Tank Squadron. The thing I'm most interested in are these melters, because I'm making some more sun killers for my Emperor's Children, this time with melters, so those would be useful, although they might be too big, because I think they're full-on multi-melters rather than the kind of handheld ones. I don't know. Well, have a look. Death Guard and Imperial Fists, that's not changed on the back of that yet. I do wonder if they'll ever officially change to Iron Warriors, which I think Iron Warriors are a better poster legion than the Death Guard, and I've said that before, because the Death Guard are just a bit of a bland scheme. I love them. I've got a whole formation of them, but it's a bland scheme for photos, and the Iron Warriors have hazard stripes, and hazard stripes, especially at this scale, make everything look better. So, here are our first light tanks, the Sabres. Here's our instructions. Either with the hull-mounted Anvilus autocannon or the hull-mounted neutron blaster. I wonder if I could just use the hull-mounted Anvilus autocannon for the autocannons on the Leman Russ. I think that'd be pretty easy. If I just build 2 of them, at least 2 of them, as neutron blaster, which I probably was going to anyway. I was probably going to build 4 and 4. If I do that, then I think, let's just quickly check. This is lit bashing on the fly. You're seeing this live, folks. Yeah, I think those are similar. There's this slightly different aesthetic between the solar and the no, maybe that's not good enough. It's only the right size, but there's the slightly different aesthetic between autocannons from the Marines and autocannons from the Solar. They would stand out, which is a shame. But still, lots of other things that those autocannons will be useful for, such as making autocannon Contemptor Dreads to count as las cannons to replace the Kiris, because Kiris aren't great. I am building some Kiris autocannon Contemptors because I want to make a Sons of Horus drop pod formation, and I think if you can get Kiris autocannons close enough, then they'll be alright. Still not as good as las, but you know, fluff and flavour wins out. They are really tiny. I was not expecting the neutron blasters to be so tiny, considering it's basically the same gun as in some of the bigger tanks, just tinier. That's adorable. Looks like we do get this time some, for aesthetic only, but we do get some hunter-killer missiles in both sides. That's good. That's very good. They're going to be very fun for converting. Yeah, we like hunter-killer missiles. I wonder if they've got a weapon profile. I'll have to look them up. Probably not. They were just aesthetic on the rhinos, but you only got one of them, and it was only one-sided. Still, fun. Good finally to have light tanks, which means I might actually paint those up as World Eaters and get some World Eaters tanks for once, because my Vanguard formation Sky Hunters are World Eaters. And yeah, I'm just going to show you this again. Games Workshop, on the slim chance you're watching. Come on. Come on. You've just released a whole bunch of new Auxilia cohorts, and this is the best you can do. Come on. I think that's all I need to say about that. Oh, except, come on. Cool. I will look forward to building those. Nothing obvious in terms of kit bashing for those. And there are other, I think there's one other weapon option. There's a Volkite option, but interestingly, we haven't got any Volkite weapons in the game yet, except for Titan scale Volkite and teeny tiny Volkites that come with the Solar commands team. So I don't know whether they're just ignoring Volkite weapons, like medium scale Volkite weapons in this game. I don't know. They did say everything in plastic would be coming out in 8mm eventually, but I don't know if that means every single weapon option or just every single unit. Speaking of every single unit, these are weird at 8mm and at 28mm, because originally in Heresy 1, everyone could take termites. Like, you had them painted up as Mechanicum, you had them painted up as Legions, you had them painted up as Solar. Like, they were kind of this ubiquitous, anyone uses this Digimole vehicle. In current Heresy, like 28mm Heresy, only the Astartes can take them. They're not in the new Mechanicum book at all. And currently in 8mm Heresy, only the Astartes can take them at the moment. And you see, it even says here, Legiones Astartes, Termos Assault Drills. Which means there's two options. Either they're going to make a different model of Assault Drill like they do for all the other ones that have kind of multiple armies. Like, there's a difference between a Legion Rapier and an Auxilia Rapier. There's a difference between a Legion Basilisk and an Auxilia Basilisk. So maybe they're going to make a new version when it goes to plastic. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting that, you know, once upon a time you'd see, you know, basically Skitarii running out of these, and now all you're going to see is Marines. But still, you know, I'd mostly play Marines, so at this scale, that's fine by me. This is weird. Death Guard and Iron Warriors. I know at the Heresy everyone was traitor and everyone was loyalist, but you'd think Iron Warriors and Imperial Fists. Maybe because they both got yellow on, they just wanted to mix, but then they both got black on, so I don't know. It's just some odd choices. But I think this goes to my point earlier. They look better with hazard stripes on. I almost did S15 when I was choosing my theming because of the hazard stripes, but, you know, the first battle won me over. So, termite assault drills. It's actually very easy to assault a termite. They're quite small. But yeah. So it looks like your classic Warhammer barrel build of having kind of like 3 or 5 very similar pieces stuck together to make a kind of barrel, and then topping and tailing them, which is nice. So you've got the option of building them with bolters out or not. In terms of lip bashing these, I do want to make one, because I base my vehicles anyway, I do want to have one kind of bursting out of the ground. I don't think I'll do one bursting in. I might do one kind of hovering out of the ground. Certainly, I think they deserve some action poses. So I'll be doing some of those. Yeah, it's an interesting sprue. It's an interesting sprue because it's different from anything else we've got so far, because we've got these weird kind of barrel shapes. But considering how complicated they are, I would like to point out you get 4 per sprue of these, and they're basically drop pods, and drop pods you get 4 per entire pack. So I really do think they need to rethink the drop pod sprue layout, or at least the options they give you for drop pods. Or even, seeing as they've shown they're happy to make exceptions in only giving you 1 sprue of, not stormbirds, what are they called? Storm eagles. Only 1 sprue of those, when the standard is 2. Give us an extra sprue of drop pods in the drop pods one to make out for it. Come on. Come on. I'm going to say come on again. Come on. But seriously, this looks fun. I don't suppose many of the bits will be useful to mix and match with other kits, but it'll be very useful to make some nice diorama-y digging into the ground, digging out of the ground, surrounded by debris and mud. So yeah, it's been a fun release this week, compared to previous ones. Yeah, I mean, the Leman Russ are just another kind of Leman Russ, but we have brand new, no other analog termites, brand new, no other analog, unless I suppose they're kind of vaguely based on a Rhino chassis, but even then not much, sabers. So that's fun. And that brings us to the end of the new stuff, but I do want to show you what I bought with my birthday money. So let's have a look at the Medusas and Basilisks first. Artillery tanks. As usual, Bormanite Devils and Cthulhian Headhunters. And as usual, that same rubbish transfer sheet. Previously, when I've done unboxings, I've kind of cut and trimmed. This time around, I'm trying to just be interesting and talk throughout so that I don't have to cut so much. So, let me know in the comments if that's okay, if you think I'm interesting, if you think my dulcet tones are worth sticking on in the background while you paint, or I don't know, whatever you do while you listen to my videos. I put in the comment, what are you doing while you listen to my videos? Are you giving me your undivided attention, or are you pooping, or both? So the artillery tanks, they're a fun new chassis. I've not seen one of those before in my current builds. The sides are pretty much Leman Russ sides, but the rest of the build is very different. I'm surprised at how little artillery I've seen while playing games. I've been trying to play more games and film some battle reports, which I'm currently busy editing. But yeah, I'm amazed, considering how good on paper the artillery for Solar is. I'm surprised at how little I've seen them being played. I don't know why. Maybe I'll play them one day. Because of how different aesthetically the Legions and Auxilia artillery is, even though you do get some spare weapons, I don't know how efficient it would be to stick these on a Rhino chassis. It might be possible. I'll give it a go, and if it's not completely awful, I'll make a video of it, but I expect it to be completely awful. So just, don't expect that anytime soon. But I'll look forward to those. They're going to go in my... Is it the Thrixie? The ones that ally with the World Eaters, because my World Eaters are all assault and infantry and cavalry. So having some artillery holding up the back and taking out tanks is going to be fun as a little allied cohort. Again, fluff is more important than anything else. Yeah, fun. So yeah, just rattling through these old ones, because any of you still watching probably already have these if you're interested in them. And if you weren't, then you're probably not interested in hearing me talk about them. So I'm just doing this for me, really. And the 3 of you who can't be bothered to skip to the next video. You are my people. Malcador Infernus and Valdor Tank Destroyers. The fun thing about these in terms of rules are they don't give you any discount for taking several in a detachment. That might seem like a bad thing, but in practice what that means is you could take these all as individual tanks and fully out-activate your opponent. And having played a fair few games now, out-activating your opponent is a good thing. Especially if you're at the start of the game and everyone's marching forward and you can just move tiny tanks one at a time while everyone else gets their infantry in prime point defense position for you to just march up to them and destroy them, whilst at the same time protecting yourself from point defense and forcing them into Overwatch. These are weird shapes. I understand because they are so weird that they can't give you the option to make 4 of each in these, because to do so you wouldn't be able to get 4 of each. You might be able to get 2 of each in the whole pack. So I'd much rather them give you 2 of each but lock you into 2 of each. That does make more sense. Ooh. Those are autocannons that I can use for that there exterminator that I mentioned. So good. I have spare Auxilia autocannons. Yeah, so it's good that we get 2 of each and therefore can fit 4 in total. But it does mean that these lovely guns, which would be fun to make the missing Sakaran Venator thing, because they're pretty much the same gun, and you know it's very tempting to sacrifice a Valdor and a Sakaran to make a Sakaran Venator using one of those. But I won't, because I do expect it's on the way, because we got a big arty piece of it in the most recent book. So I expect it is coming. You just have to be patient, which is not my fault. But still, I will look forward to building those. I really like how Malcadors look. They've always underperformed in game. They've never been as good as the bigger tanks or the smaller tanks. They do seem like a worst of both worlds situation, but they're weird looking tanks. I do like how they look. So maybe these specialist versions will be a little bit more interesting. Who knows? Who dares find out? Find out next time on Lit Bashing. So yeah, people who've been following on the community tab know that I've recently, first of all, I've turned old recently over the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to tell you when my birthday was, because GDPR and protect identity and all that, but face to say, I am older than I've ever been before, but younger than I will ever be again. And on top of that, I've just started a new job, which I'm also not going to tell you about. Again, GDPR and identity and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a busy little while, but I have got a few videos still in the kind of like backs being saved. So I just need to finish editing a tutorial and battle report that I filmed with another Warhammer YouTuber, which was nice. So expect that soon. And I've got a White Scars Lit Bash coming up as well, which will be fun. So I'll get those edited and out as soon as my tired little brain can get them. So thank you all for watching. Thank you as always to my Patreons, who'll be appearing on screen somewhere in a minute. Peace and love, and as always, please do keep on lit bashing.